Giselle, you're doing a good job. Michael was so uncomfortable. Big ups to G for doing that. Robin from the block too. Eddie was more upset at her. Sounds like this is a man who's getting sexual pleasure from somewhere else. Now this pisses me off. It was a joke. Peter is gonna come. There was some mommy and me drama that happened. And I have never felt closer to G than in that moment. I actually thought this was a good trip. We are too old to be saying all timer. Okay, that wasn't nice. Let me stop. She came with a Corona in hand, like, I'm going to take care of my man. I hope you're not blaming yourself for this man cheating on you like 4 or 5 times. Okay, I'm gonna fill this wife role, and then you're gonna neglect the mother role. Also, having children changes that. Yo, this is the most bougiest crab boil I've ever been to. Her children is so shady. We all gonna take a little bit of G with us. What up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of From Rizzo with Love with me, your girl Rizzo. For those of you guys who do not know, I am in a different location. If you are not watching my Married at First Sight recaps, you may not know, but I am in the middle of moving. My Airbnb scammed me. It was a lot that happened. So if you hear echo, I am in an empty room right now. There's a couple items around, but have not fully moved into my temporary spot. But in a couple of weeks, we'll get to it. That is why this episode is so late. Trust me, I'm gonna try to drop these back to back to back. I'm gonna try to get to 2 of these, watch the vow renewal, and then jump right into reunion. For those of you guys who do not know me, we do Married at First Sight, Real Housewives of Potomac, and maybe Insecure. I've been saying Insecure, but I'm so behind. I'm not sure if we're going to do that this year. Now we will be recapping Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 6, Episode 16, Crabs Boiling Over, or as I like to call it, mommy and me issues, because there's been a lot of mommy and me issues that happened in this episode. We're going to get to all of them. We got to close out the trip first, and then we got to prepare for the Grand Dame's vow renewal, which I'm so excited about, y'all. Let's get to it. Oh, before I do, please, if you do like this recap, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Like button is down there. Comment down here. Don't give me any spoilers yet, though. Actually, I'm gonna watch it in 2 days, but probably by the time I post this, I'll be ready. Let's get to it, y'all. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for the whole Nikki thing. I cannot wait for the vow renewal. Let's go. Okay, so let's close out this trip, y'all. So first and foremost, I actually thought this was a good trip. Everybody was on the bus like, great job, Wendy, GVO. We had a good time, except for Robin. Even Giselle lightened up at a certain point, and she started to like engage with folks, and she had fun. She was like laughing with some people, but Robin was just like crabby in the back, no pun intended with the crabby thing, but like just in the back, not enjoying it, and just regretted the whole thing. Even during this little fancy feast crab boil that Mia was like, yo, this is the most bougiest crab boil I've ever been to. But Wendy gave a great speech and talked about like the accomplishments of everyone and how she wanted to celebrate everyone. I thought it was good. Let's talk about this crab boil because it was freezing, and I have never felt closer to G than in that moment. Because G said, you know what, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get my food on my own time. It's too cold for me. I'm not gonna sacrifice myself for this moment. Sweetheart, if you wanna stay here, go ahead and do this. But I'm gonna take my black inside. I'm too old and too grown. I done been through too much life to have to sacrifice my comfort just for this moment. And I said, G, you know what? We all gonna take a little bit of G with us in moments that don't make us comfortable, or in moments where we are like, this is not what I need to be doing. Just get up and go. Get your food and go. Now, y'all know we've talked about this several times before, but Giselle is there to stir things up. I don't know why I turned it, but I feel like that's how Giselle operates. So she tried to make that, when G was talking to Ashley about sleeping in the car, a bigger deal than it actually was. And Ashley, who was also trying to do the same as Giselle by making sure this show is relevant, kind of went in and did the same thing. And G was like, what are you talking about? I talked about you sleeping. Yeah, it was a joke, which is what I mentioned in the last recap. Like, I don't understand why everybody got so up in arms about it. But, you know, Giselle was like, I need to talk about something else besides me not having a man. Make my place at this table. Okay, that wasn't nice. Let me stop. But now our girl Mia with this all-timers. There was a point in my life where I used to say Happy Valentine's Day. I also used to say light-skinned. I did not know that that was incorrect until I got in front of some other people and I heard them say light-skinned. You know, but like me, I just feel like we are too old to be saying all-timers. Okay, let's not do that. But I wasn't mad at her when she was like, yo, you need some big black. Mia, I told y'all, Mia's from the She not playing with these people. Mia has elevated herself, but she on the block. Let's not play. And Robin. Nobody knows this. Robin from the block too. Y'all, now this Karen and the cake thing, I understand what Wendy and Eddie were trying to do, but it was poor execution. I feel like we could have done this differently. Maybe before we sat down for the crab boil, we could have called Karen out, had her get in the cake, and then surprise Ray. Like, it was poor execution, and you bought that big ass cake for no reason. Val Renewal better be better than this. Okay, now that we're back from the trip, let's actually get into these mommy and me issues because there are so many from several cast members. Let's start with Mia. We know that she has had issues with her mother in the past, but this is the time where she's like, Mom, or she actually calls her mommy, which I think is cute because she never was able to call her mommy as a kid because she wasn't there. Okay, but she is watching her children. So they come back from the trip and G is like, yo, that was a group trip. Let's actually have an anniversary dinner. I think it was their 8th anniversary. They go out. Her mom is only responsible for watching them for that night, to get them food, to take care of them, and to put them down for bed. Her mom calls her because she cannot figure out what to feed the kids, and an argument ensues. So Mia and G leave, go home, and then when they get there, Mia's mom starts yelling at G, which is also interesting because they're probably around the same age. But respectfully, G is like, I'm not gonna talk to you like a peer, but I'm going to respect you as a woman. I'm also going to respect you as my wife's mother. So big ups to G for doing that. Not big ups to her mother because you're watching my kids and you hung up on me? Nah, you don't get to do that when you're watching my kids, especially for the first time. And then when I call you back, you don't pick up? No. Now I have to come home because I don't know the situation that's happening at my house. You're taking care of my kids for the first time and you have had a track record of not being a good mother or good caretaker. So now I have to leave my dinner. Now this pisses me off. Okay, let's talk Ashley. So Ashley's not having issues with her mom, but she is having issues as a new mom, a second-time new mom. I loved the scene where Dr. Donna, not just because her name is Donna, but there were moments where Ashley is like, I don't know how to be sexual. Michael is not really, initiating things with me. He's not into it. When I try to do something, he either says he's tired or doesn't have the capacity to do it right now. And Ashley was like, I believe him. And Dr. Donna was like, wait, let's make sure we question this again, because she didn't just want to leave that therapy session with Ashley just believing everything that he's saying, because the things that she's saying and the way that she's portraying it to Dr. Donna sounds like this is a man who's getting sexual pleasure from somewhere else. You're telling your recently pregnant wife who you cheated on around this same time period that you're not interested, you're tired, and you don't have the capacity to have sex, knowing that this is a formerly very sexual man and very sexual couple, actually. So she's like, all right, let's make sure we bring this back up and talk about it. You need to initiate something and get down to the bottom of it. I do like her as a therapist not being like, yo, he lying. Because I feel like that's what your friends would say, but she was kind of trying to be objective, like hoping that Ashley would get there on her own. Like, oh, how do you feel? Do you think this is accurate? And when Ashley would just brush it off, she'd be like, okay, wait, let's talk about this again. So they actually pushed forth for her to be a little bit more romantic, and she went to the Watergate Hotel, which Michael used to own. And Ashley's face when she said that was like, yeah, Michael used to own it. Like, yeah, we did that. Nah, sis, that was before you. But Michael was so uncomfortable in that whole situation, y'all. Except when they were drinking their Coronas together, because that's their thing. But they were very calm and comfortable in that moment. Even when Ashley came to the door, she came with a Corona in hand, like, I'm going to take care of my man. But y'all, this bromance that Michael and Juan have, I didn't expect them to still have it after Michael talked so much shit about Juan and Robin last season, where he was like, ain't no way he's gonna propose to her. Yeah, Juan is out being a single man. Like, he's not gonna wanna be with her. I thought their bromance was over. So it's gonna be interesting to see them, together again. Okay, now let's get into Eddie and his drama with his mother / Wendy and her drama with her mother-in-law. First of all, Eddie's mom reached out to him recently, which I thought was great. Even though the grandkids don't have a relationship with her, they don't even know who she is. That's kind of disheartening. Not kind of, it's worrisome. I hate that it has come to this, but it is what it is. But I was interested in the fact that Wendy was like pushing for him to establish this relationship with his mother, when I thought it was that Wendy and his mother-in-law didn't like each other. Or is it that his mother and her mother didn't get along? But because she's associated with the mother, it just was bad. But it seemed like Eddie was more upset at her than Wendy was. I mean, I guess that makes sense because, like, if Eddie and his wife, who's Wendy, is a team, and this woman is like talking about her, he is like, nah, I don't like that. I don't like that you don't want me to be happy. I don't like that you're talking about my queen. So I guess I kind of get it. I just don't understand why, like, Wendy is pushing for it and Eddie is like, I'm not sure. It's like, is that genuine on Wendy's part? Is she trying to do that because she wants her husband happy? Or does she genuinely want that? I don't know. I think also having children changes that, because you want your kids to know a loving grandmother or an aunt. Like, he has a whole side of the family. So I think you want that more for your kids. Now, can I tell you how much I loved the photo shoot that Wendy, her mom, and her daughter did? I'm gonna post it right here if I remember, but the final product was, I just loved it. It was 3 generations. I have a photo of my great-grandmother, my grandmother, my mother, and my sister. And I just love that it was 4 generations of women in a photo. It just brought me so much joy. And it was for a company that she's trying to leave as a legacy to her mom, or for her mom, and to her children and her daughter. So I love that little moment. But there was some mommy and me drama that happened, because it's hard to tell parents who love you dearly, who feel they did so much and made so many sacrifices to get you where you are today, to make sure that this family was successful. It's hard for them to hear that they may have made mistakes. And we're not taking away from the fact that you like busted your behind to get us to where we are today, that you raised me, that we have a great relationship. But you made mistakes. That's not gonna be your whole story, but it's tough for Wendy's mom especially, because now this is how you're portraying me on television. People don't know me. People don't know how we were raised. Like, I'm telling you, y'all were latchkey kids. I did what I could. The results are in the product and what happened in the outcome. But now you're painting me as something else on television. So I'm gonna leave because I don't like that. I feel like knowing your mom, you know what kind of mom you have, and that's a conversation you have off camera. But then I guess like you're on a show, so you want to create moments. So, okay, last but not least, let's get into everyone's favorite mommy and children group here, and that is Giselle and her 3 daughters. Now, they had a very real conversation about Giselle dating and Giselle and Jamal showing good examples of what it means to be in a happy and healthy relationship, whether as a mother and a wife. Actually really focusing on wife, which I thought was tough for Giselle, because I don't think the girls were focusing enough on her being a good mom. What happened in her relationship was between her and Jamal, and it didn't have anything to do with how she parents her children. So that doesn't work. It's not like she can't be a good example for her children. It's just that she is unable to be a good example of a wife to her children, not just because of her, but because of this situation. So I hope her children see, yes, I may not fill this bucket for you to be an example and to look after, but I am fulfilling this bucket of a businesswoman, an educated woman, a mom to 3 girls, a self-sufficient entrepreneurial woman. And I hope that they see that, because there are a lot of women out there who sacrifice that because it's like, oh, well, you want me to be a wife? Okay, I'm gonna fill this wife role, and then you're gonna neglect the mother role. Or you're going to fill the mother role and neglect the wife role. So I'm glad that the role that Giselle has, she is able to fulfill for her daughters and do a good damn job of it. So don't feel the pressure to do that just because you feel like you have to fill another role for your children. Hell, you might wind up completing this role and just not filling it properly. And now your kids are messed up because they see you as an example. And that's what they grow up to be like in their relationships. Like, no, don't feel that pressure. Now, the fact that her children are so shady lets us know that she is doing a great job in raising them in that aspect. The 50 years of struggle, hilarious. We don't want you to be old, gross, and die alone, hilarious. You're pretty lonely, your vampire don't have any feelings. Like, come on, y'all. These kids are the funniest people ever. Giselle, you're doing a good job. Now, Giselle went to this same therapist who knows her, who has guided her through a lot. I actually really like this therapist. There are a couple that, actually, I like Donna and this therapist. There's some that I'm like, but I like this guy for Giselle. He had her think about, like, what example do you think you're setting for your daughters? And she was like, probably not a good one. Which I'm like, I don't know, because she has walls. And even in the beginning of the session, she was like, I'm not emotionally available to men. And I just feel like, even a comment that she made earlier in the episode, like, yeah, there's some things I should have addressed that I didn't with your father. Sis, I hope you're not blaming yourself for this man cheating on you like 4 or 5 times with church folks. That's not your fault. And I hope she doesn't see it that way. So if you want to talk about being an example, I hope she is showing her daughters, hey, you don't have to stick this out if this man is over here cheating on you and he's not giving you what you need and breaking your vows. You can leave. Like, think about about that example that she is setting for them. It doesn't have to be, let's stay in a relationship, because that relationship can be unhealthy and those girls could have grown up a whole different way. All right, y'all, this episode was pretty good. I really like the mommy and me theme that we saw across the board. I really hope that these women get their lives together and establish better relationships with their mom, their husbands, their daughters, whatever it is. But it's real. Like, this shit happens in real life. So I'm glad that we get to see it with people who look, act, and are like us. There's so many different varieties on this show. That's what makes it so good. There's like single moms, there's interracial relationships, there's people who were in the foster care system, people have broken relationships with their mothers, international, like it's all across the board. So I like that. I will say I'm excited for this vow renewal episode. I'm glad that I don't have to wait because I'm so late. Really quickly, these invitations. PETA is gonna come for Karen if they have not already. These damn butterflies, a lot of them died, y'all. And not me and not knowing the life cycle of caterpillar, cocoon, butterfly. Like, y'all, what is going on? All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been your girl Rizzo of From Rizzo with Love. Again, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I know I'm a couple episodes behind, but I'm going to drop this back to back. I've got to edit this. I'm hoping I can get it out today, even if it's late, and get the next one out tomorrow, guys. Please, if you did like it, do hit that subscribe button. We are wrapping up this season in this episode. Again, guys, please remember that everything that I have said has been from Rizzo with Love. Thank you, guys. See y'all next week. Hit the subscribe.